طيب, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Are there any questions? Fadl Sheikh Khan. Salaam wa rahmatullah.
Sheikh, is it okay to give
As-salam
non-halal
to-
meat to the non-believers?
طيب, the question is regarding giving non-halal meat to a non-Muslim. Is it okay? There's no doubt it should be avoided. You should stay away from it. However, non-halal meat is not the same as serving or offering the flesh of swine. There's a difference. And the reason why there's a difference, even though the rulings for eating the flesh of swine oftentimes, in most cases, are mentioned in the same rulings of carrion, of an animal that's been hit upside of his head, or strangled, or choked, or thrown off of a bridge, or gored. Surah Baqarah, Surah Ma'idah, they mention that, okay, about being compelled, eating it out of necessity. Flesh of swine, blood, al-mutaraddiya, al-munquda, shay wahid, nas wahid, all right? Even though the severity and the gravity of eating flesh of swine and its najasa is worse, all right? Let alone the fact that a person may eat chicken or beef or another meat with a different understanding. It came from a Jew, it came from a Christian, etc. But there's no interpretation to be made regarding the flesh of swine, period. One may go to McDonald's and say it's lawful to eat the chicken here. It's lawful. But there's no one that's going to say you can have the bacon that comes from swine. So giving a non-Muslim, non-halal meat should be avoided. That's point number one. Point number two, if you have to serve it or give it to a family member or something, it is not as bad as serving the flesh of swine. Wallahu ta'ala alam. That's in brief. Wa yakum. Awais. Malish. Fadl.
Sheikh, my dad is going to get the vaccine tomorrow, and he's worried about, can he fast and get the vaccine, Sheikh?
Right. With regards to fasting and having the vaccine, is it permissible, is it lawful, etc.? The first point is that it is best not to get a vaccine or shot while fasting. It's best. That's number one. Number two, vaccines or shots or needles are of two types. There are those that give some type of nutrition, some type of enrichment to the body, taking the place of food and drink, which will obviously break the fast. And then there are those that don't do that to the body, and bi'idhnillahi ta'ala, it does not break the fast. That's in brief. Inshallah, we'll do a deeper discussion of this, inshallah. Wallahu alam. Tfaddal.
What's the hukum for somebody who fasts and doesn't pray?
Someone who fasts, but they do not pray, is very dangerous. It's extremely dangerous. And نخاف على مثل هذا أن يدخل في قوله تعالى ولا تتخذوا آيات الله هزوا. We're afraid that that person will be included in Allah's statement, do not take Allah's signs as mockery. Do not take the signs of Allah as a joke. So a person is going to fast and they don't pray. Then obviously, inshallah, the person has some type of good intention. It's Ramadan, a holy month, holidays for the Muslims. But it's a subtle type of mockery, subtly, even if that's not their intention. And that's because why are you fasting during the pillar of Islam and neglecting the second pillar of Islam? That you know is more important, is done all throughout the year. Man, woman, and child has to fast, etc., etc., etc. But has to pray and not fast. So that's dangerous. Number two, the ruling is perhaps the fasting will make the person be conscious of prayer. Perhaps it will help them. Perhaps it will be the light bulb that pops up in their heads and say, I got to get myself together. It's not cool. I'm starving myself from food and drink and I'm not even praying. I'm in the masjid waiting for the adhan, but I'm not even making maghrib or isha or fajr. So perhaps it's a good thing. Last but not least is many of the scholars of Islam, from the pious predecessors and others, they said that the Muslim who does not pray, the Muslim who systematically abandons the prayer, is an apostate. Waliyadu billah. So according to those ulama and those salaf salih, that person may not even be a Muslim. And if they're not Muslim, if they've left Islam, then of course the fasting does what? Haba'an manthura. It's like floating particles of dust. كَسَرَابٍ بِقِيعَةٍ يَحْسَبُهُ الظَّمْآنُ مَاءً. Allah says, like a mirage in the wastelands, which the thirsty man thinks is water. He thinks that it's an oasis. So this is extremely dangerous, guys. And for sure, many of our family members, la hawla wa la quwwata illa billah, we all know, many of our family members don't pray. They do not pray. His name is Abdullah, his name is Ali, and they don't make salah, and you know that. And then Ramadan comes around, I want to support an iftar, I want to feed, I want to do this. It's dangerous. And it's upon us to warn them. Allah does not need your fasting nor your charity if you're not praying. It's dangerous. May Allah help all of the Muslims. So perhaps it will lead them to start prayer. And if you live in a household with somebody like that, you can't just keep silent about it. You can't just say, oh, let's have suhoor and iftar. Even if they pray during this month, you have to tell them after Shawwal, we got to keep praying. Father, grandfather, we have to make salah. Allah loves when you pray. You'll get closer to Allah by praying and fasting. Wallahu ta'ala alam. Allah musta'an. It's a very widespread problem, people not praying. Allah musta'an. Tayyib. Are there other questions? Tafadhal. I'm sorry? Getting blood work during fasting is something which should be avoided as well for several reasons. One reason is that getting blood work, it may weaken you. It may make you extremely thirsty and hungry, which may force you to break your fast. And many scholars of Islam, they say that getting cupped hijama breaks the fast. And the reason, they differ on why it breaks the fast, those who hold that view. The hadith says, Aftar al-hajimu wal-mahjum. The cupper and the cupped have both broken their fast. Scholars, they differ on this. Does cupping break the fast or not? Those scholars who hold the view that it does break the fast, they have two interpretations. One interpretation is that the one who gets cupped is going to be in a state of fatigue. They're going to be exhausted. You give blood. They say drink juice, eat cookies, put something in your body after half an hour, etc. So you did the blood work. They took the flasks. They took the vials of blood from you. Man, I'm super tired now. I'm super weak. I'm super hungry. And it may be a hardship for you to continue your fast. And others, they say, is that the hijama itself breaks the fast, period. Regardless of the reason. The one whether he has to suck the blood before they had the suction cups back in the day, etc. So getting blood work, depending on how much blood they take out of your body, it could lead to breaking the fast, and it should be avoided. However, getting blood work is not hijama. There are different issues. It's not the same amount of blood. Getting blood work is not eating or drinking or sexual intercourse. So therefore, that which is apparent is that it does not break the fast. There's a similarity between hijama and blood work, but they're not the same thing. So getting blood work does not break the fast. It doesn't break it, but it shouldn't be done unless it's necessity. Wallahu a'lam. عندك شيء أم لا? Are there any other questions, brothers, before we move forward? Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah. Sheikh Mahdi. Bismillah, we ran out of time. خلاص صلى الله وسلم وبارك على عبده ورسوله نبينا وإمامنا محمد.